think what are some of the crises that can occur that you need to be prepared for?
Theft, because you left the door unlocked.
Yeah. So theft is, categories, right? Theft from that it has been alleged by a client, and what's your process policy to deal with that? And what's your investigation, process, etc. Theft because you left a door unlocked and someone else came in. So that's a huge liability piece. And what insurance do you have? How do you protect yourself? And then we're going to get into this in a minute. And I hope everybody's thinking this. When you're writing all this stuff out, you should have already thought, well, how do I avoid
Yeah, exactly. Avoidance is better than let's wait for the crisis to happen.
Right. So what am I doing to prepare about, do an exercise on worst case scenario for each thing. But before you do that, how do we avoid that happening in the first place? And most
of policy around it,
policy training, constant reminders.
I mean, if you look at it, you could go down a gamut of things. And really, you could search it on the internet. Like, okay, if I'm worried about employee theft, what should I put in place? I don't think enough janitorial companies look at themselves as they're that serious, right? They're like, well, we just clean buildings, man. It's not that big of a deal. But no, it's still a big deal.
Well, how big of a deal is it? Because you have access to buildings, you have keys, you have access to everybody's office.
You could go to jail.
Yes.
I mean, you could lose all your business.
Yep.
You could lose your house. You could lose your car. I mean, come on, dude.
It's endless. It's significant. So theft being from an employee or you, theft being from leaving a door unlocked and negligence, alleged theft that you have nothing to do with, right? And you should treat everything as that it's probably alleged because
unless they see you on camera.
Yep. What other things besides theft?
Flooding.
So floods.
We use a lot of water. I mean, think about it. You're using dilution stations. You're filling up mop buckets. You're doing all this other stuff. That's something people are like, well, you can't control that. Well, yeah, you can. I mean, for us, if you have a dilution station, you don't turn the hoses off. That's probably the single most thing in our business that has cost insurance claims, money, loss of reputation with the customer. That's the single one thing. Is like turn the water off. We have little signs. Is your water off?
The building I'm talking about. I was at this building with an account manager doing training this week, and I turned to her and I said, "This is the building that we had our single largest insurance loss, as a company, and it was millions of dollars because they left a faucet on, and the hose blew up and it flooded this building, and so wouldn't you know it." Right,
they don't forget.
I'm walking around, and the guy who is the head of it, Chris, said, "Yeah, man, were you guys here when that flood happened?" And I'm like, "Yes, we were here." And he's like, "Oh yeah, let me tell you, all the hospital beds, they made us throw all those away because there was electronics near the bottom, and the beds worked perfectly, but they were $50,000 beds or some number." And he's like, they were trying to charge us $10,000 a bed to get rid of them. We ended up donating them, but the insurance companies are just like, nope, get rid of it. And that's why that number went up so high, right? Because and all it was just turn the damn water off, right? So definitely flooding, huge. Other things that you can think of besides flood.
Well, everybody knows about COVID. I mean, you look at crisis management, it's COVID, something we probably never thought we'd ever deal with. No. And a lot of policies wrapped around that. I think during that time, but
I think we all were. Here are the two types of companies that I saw and leadership that I saw in companies and cleaning at that time. Oh my God, we're all going to go out of business. Let's go and put our heads in the sand and wait for this thing to be over and hope that the government takes care of us. And the other one was, we got to pay attention to what's happening every single day and the changes and the new protocols and all the new information that's coming out, and educate, right? And because there was no real way to prepare for that, because it's an unprecedented, once-in-a-lifetime type of thing. But we hope, But now there is a roadmap for that and how we would do it.
Well, we did have a head start with that because we were cleaning
medical facilities,
how to-
hospitals and stuff.
to deal with pathogens and all that kind of stuff. They knew.
But even with that, it was scary because we didn't. It was a novel virus. No one really knew how it was going to spread. So we did everything. It was a Swiss cheese theory, right? We did everything. It was like where every part of PPE that you could, assuming that it could be any of these things, and clean using these things because we know it could be any of these things. And
Which is
disinfect.
how you do it anyway.
Yeah, and those are things that, people were in terror about what was going on, and we were like, we're going to be okay. In fact, I didn't get COVID until after
Yeah.
COVID lockdown ended. So,
He gave it to me.
did I?
You did.
Oh,
A friend gave it to you, and you gave. I think that that's the way. I mean, I haven't got it.
I got it just hugging somebody. I was at a garage sale. I hadn't seen them in a long time, and they gave me COVID. Anyway, so
Crisis management. Don't go to garage sales.
yeah, don't go to garage sales.